After watching this video, you will have a clear understanding about AWS or any other cloud provider technologies and what are the problems they are actually solving. I can promise you, with the concept of this video, you will be able to explain any AWS service. So please make sure you stick till the end. For a moment, forget about AWS. Let's just focus on a simple web application that can add two numbers. We are collecting the two numbers, sending it to our server. The server is performing the calculation with the help of this function and giving us the result. Now, to run this app, you need a runtime. If you have written your application in Node.js, then you need a Node.js runtime. For Python, you need a Python runtime and so on. So this is the runtime layer. The next layer is the operating system layer. So to handle your runtime, you need an operating system. And at the end, we are having the hardware, right? On top of the hardware, there is a virtualization layer, but let's not worry about that in our discussion. All right, so first is the hardware, then the operating system, then runtime. On top of that, our application. And in that application, we are running our function. Now, let's say you are managing your own server. In that case, you have to invest a lot of money to buy all this hardware and networking infrastructure. And you need a dedicated team to maintain this as well. Amazon, around early 2000s, first solved this problem. Around that time, Amazon wanted to open an e-commerce platforms for third-party retailers as well. Okay, so for this reason, they needed shared IT infrastructure. So basically, they wanted to create like whatever seller you get inside Amazon. So for every seller, they wanted to create an e-commerce platform. Okay, so for that reason, they bought a lot of IT infrastructure. And that plan didn't work out. So they have opened that IT infrastructure for other businesses. So this is the start of infrastructure as a service. So with infrastructure as a service, you are not buying or managing any hardware or networking devices. You are renting someone else's infrastructure. And this is significantly reducing the server provision cost and time for any business. Okay, in the next phase, they have introduced platform as a service. Idea was you just bring your own application code. We will provision and manage all the other things. Okay, this includes patching, updating and maintaining hardware, operating system, runtime, and anything in between. After that, they have introduced functions as a service. So the idea was you just bring your small function code. We will manage the rest of the things, including the application layer. In the market, this is called serverless, by the way. And if someone is giving you the functions as well, then that is called software as a service. For example, YouTube is a software as a service. Okay, now this is the base concept of cloud. If you pick any service from AWS, either that is giving you any combination of these layers or helping you to have proper security for these layers or helping you to provision these layers. So let's understand those by taking some examples. The most popular service, EC2, will come under this infrastructure as a service. So in the case of S3, simple storage service, you are just optimizing the EC2 for storage. Okay, so that will also come under infrastructure as a service. For any database service, they are taking an EC2, installing necessary database software and calling it a managed database. Okay, so that will come under platform as a service. AWS Lambda will come under function as a service. AWS IAM will help you to secure these layers. So it will come under security. AWS CloudFormation, AWS CDK, AWS Amplify, and many other services will come under this provision helper. So these are just helping you to provision other services. And there's a very common pattern inside AWS, that is they will take their hardware, install some open source software in it and call it a new service. Okay, and some of the open source software companies are not very happy with AWS for this reason. So whenever you want to learn any AWS service, try to first learn about the underlying open source software. An example would be, let's say you want to learn AWS OpenSearch. Okay, now the underlying open source software they are using is Elasticsearch. Okay, so you should first learn about Elasticsearch. Then you will understand the OpenSearch. All right, so that's all for this video. I am planning to create a comprehensive course explaining all the necessary AWS services for developers. If you are interested, I will put the link in the description. If you have any further question, please let me know. I will see you in the next one. Thanks.